Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are talking about a phrase that's been popping up everywhere online, one that really seems to capture a feeling a lot of us are having: brain rot. So, have you ever just found yourself scrolling for who knows how long, and when you finally look up, your brain just feels foggy, like it's full of cotton? Maybe you find it impossible to focus on one thing, or the stuff you used to love just doesn't hit the same way. Well, if you feel like your mind isn't as sharp as it used to be, you're definitely not alone. And there's a name for that feeling. All right, so let's get right into it. What do people actually mean when they throw around this term brain rot? Let's break down what it is.
Okay, first things first. This is not an official medical diagnosis. You're not going to find this in a textbook. Instead, brain rot is a popular term that does a really powerful job of describing a very real state of being. That feeling of mental burnout you get from being plugged into a constant, overwhelming stream of low value, super intense digital content.
And these signs, they go way deeper than just feeling a little tired. We're talking about a noticeable drop in your ability to focus, to make clear-headed decisions, and even to manage your own emotions. It's that constant, nagging feeling that you need something more stimulating just to feel anything at all. So this leads to the big question. What's actually causing this? Where is all this hyperstimulation even coming from? Let's dive into the main culprits. The sources really point the finger at two massive sources, both of which are basically engineered to keep you hooked. You've got the algorithm-driven, endless scrolling social media feeds, and of course the incredibly accessible world of online porn. Both are designed to deliver a nonstop river of novelty straight to your brain.
Now, to really understand why these things have such a powerful grip on us, we have to talk about a key chemical in your brain: dopamine. You've probably heard of it as the pleasure molecule, but it's actually more accurate to think of it as the motivation molecule. It's the thing that drives us to seek out experiences that our brain thinks will be rewarding.
And here you can just see the massive difference. Our brains evolved to get these small, healthy little drips of dopamine from natural rewards, things like finishing a project, having a great chat with a friend, or getting some exercise. But what we have today with these digital superstimuli, it's not a drip, it's a fire hose. It's an intense artificial flood that our brains were just never designed to handle.
So what happens when you blast your brain with that fire hose day in and day out? What does it actually do to us in the long run? This is where the rot part of brain rot starts to make a whole lot of sense.
We get caught in this really dangerous loop. First, you engage with the content and get this huge, unnatural dopamine spike. Your brain, in an attempt to protect itself, actually starts dialing down its own sensitivity. It downregulates. And the result? The next time you go looking for that feeling, you need an even bigger, more intense stimulus to get there. It just fuels a craving for more and more.
And that's really the crucial point. Your brain's entire baseline for what feels good and rewarding starts to shift. And this isn't just a metaphor, it's a real physical adaptation that's happening inside your neural pathways. Your brain literally gets used to that flood and starts to expect it. Now, this whole rewiring process isn't some abstract chemical thing happening in a lab. No, it has very real and often very damaging effects on how you actually experience the world around you.
So as your brain starts screaming for those bigger and bigger digital rewards, the satisfaction you used to get from normal life just starts to fade away. It becomes harder to make good decisions, to manage your feelings, and to find the motivation for the very things that build a good life, like studying or focusing on an important project at work. And this, right here, is the absolute core of brain rot. It's this deep desensitization that makes the quiet, subtle, and genuinely fulfilling rewards of real life, like reading a book or taking a walk, feel completely dull and unappealing in comparison. Okay, that all sounds pretty bleak, doesn't it? But here's the important part. Is the damage permanent? Thankfully, the sources say no. They offer a very direct two-part strategy for reclaiming your focus and hitting the reset button on your brain's reward system. Step 1 is about as simple and direct as it gets. Just get rid of the apps. Removing the primary source of the endless algorithmic stimulation is the most critical first move you can make. It breaks the cycle and it lets your brain finally start to heal. And the second step is just as direct: quit consuming online porn. The sources identify it as one of the most potent forms of superstimuli available. By cutting out these two major sources, you're giving your dopamine receptors a much-needed break, a chance to reset, which lets you resensitize to all the natural pleasures of life.
At the end of the day, this really isn't about deprivation. It's about being intentional. It's about making a conscious choice, recognizing that your attention is a finite, incredibly valuable resource. So the question to leave you with is this: are you choosing to spend your attention on things that drain you or on things that are going to build a more focused, engaged, and fulfilling life? The choice, as always, is yours.